What you are about to hear is the story of Hasan and Leyla, a forbidden love hidden within the opulent walls of a 17th century Ottoman palace. Amidst power, duty, and secrecy, they risk everything to be together in a world where love could be their ultimate downfall. In the grandeur of the Ottoman palace, where marble floors glisten beneath golden chandeliers and tapestries woven with rich silks hang on towering walls, Emir Hasan, a nobleman of high political standing, moves through the halls with purpose and authority. Known for his sharp mind and unyielding loyalty to the Sultan, Hasan is both respected and feared in the palace. His family's wealth and power afford him privileges many can only dream of, but with these come responsibilities that weigh heavily on his shoulders. He is bound by duty, loyal to his family's legacy, and engaged to the daughter of a powerful minister, a match that will solidify his influence within the court. One morning, seeking solitude from the endless demands of palace life, Hasan walks into the royal gardens, a sanctuary hidden within the palace's towering walls. The gardens are lush and carefully tended, with fragrant roses and towering cypress trees. It is a place where the whispers of court intrigue fade, and the quiet of nature offers a reprieve from the palace's political machinations. As he strolls, he notices a young woman bent over a patch of lilies, her fingers gently loosening the soil around their roots. Her movements are graceful, her focus entirely on the delicate blooms she cares for. Intrigued, Hasan watches her for a moment, captivated by the simplicity of her presence amidst the opulence of the palace. She is no courtly lady, nor is she adorned with jewels or silks. Instead, she wears the modest garb of a servant, her face partially hidden beneath a scarf, yet her beauty and the quiet grace with which she moves are undeniable. He clears his throat, drawing her attention. Startled, the woman looks up, her gaze meeting his, and for a moment, time seems to stand still. Her eyes, dark and expressive, reflect both surprise and trepidation as she realizes who stands before her. This is Leyla, a servant who has spent her life within the palace walls, tending to the gardens and carrying out her duties in silence, unnoticed by the nobles who pass her by each day. Yet, in that moment, under Hasan's gaze, she feels seen in a way she never has before. "Forgive me, my lord," Leyla says softly, bowing her head, yet her voice holds a quiet strength that does not go unnoticed by Hasan. He assures her there is nothing to forgive and strikes up a conversation, asking about the flowers she tends. Their exchange is brief, marked by formalities, but as they speak, Hasan finds himself drawn to her warmth and simplicity, a refreshing contrast to the manipulative courtiers who populate his world. Days pass, and Hasan returns to the gardens, hoping for another encounter with Leyla. Their meetings become more frequent, though each is veiled in secrecy. He learns of her life within the palace, of her dreams and fears, and she listens to him speak of the pressures of court, his arranged marriage, and the weight of his duties. Their bond grows in the quiet spaces between words, in the unspoken understanding that blooms between them. For the first time, Hasan feels seen not as a nobleman or a political figure, but simply as a man. Yet, even as their connection deepens, both are acutely aware of the risks they are taking. The palace is a place where secrets rarely stay hidden, and the boundary between servant and noble is strictly enforced. Leyla knows that even the smallest misstep could lead to severe punishment, or worse. Hasan, too, is torn between his desire for her and the knowledge that their love could unravel the delicate balance of his life at court. Their love grows in the shadow of the palace walls, concealed from prying eyes, but with every shared glance, every whispered word, the danger intensifies. And though neither of them dares to speak of it, both know that their secret romance will eventually force them to make a choice, a choice between the life they know and the love that could destroy it all. As the seasons change, Hasan and Leyla's forbidden love deepens, bringing warmth and joy into the cold marble halls and shadowed corners of the palace. Their meetings grow more daring, woven into the quiet moments when court life slows, concealed in the scent of jasmine that fills the gardens at dusk. Each encounter holds a new depth of emotion, an intensity that neither can deny, yet they are painfully aware of the ever-growing risks that surround them. Leyla, who once walked unnoticed among the palace servants, now feels the weight of prying eyes. Rumors spread quickly within the palace walls, fueled by the whispers of maids and eunuchs who have observed the changes in her demeanor. Leyla moves with a cautious grace, torn between her desire for Hasan and the fear of discovery that hangs over her like a shadow. She knows well the stories of those who have been punished for far lesser indiscretions, and the palace's wrath is not one to be taken lightly. Hasan, meanwhile, is facing pressures of his own. His engagement to the minister's daughter, Esli, is moving forward, and his family and the Sultan's advisors have begun planning the details of the union. To them, it is not just a marriage but a political alliance that will secure his influence within the court, further entrenching his family's power. Esli, though beautiful and well-suited to the role, is a stranger to him, a woman with whom he shares no connection, a marriage built upon duty rather than love. Each day, Hasan finds himself drawn to Leyla with an increasing desperation, a need that defies reason and decorum. Their love, concealed beneath layers of formality and secrecy, feels as though it is blossoming in a world where it cannot survive. They continue to meet in the gardens, whispering their dreams and fears beneath the cover of night, aware that any moment could be their last. Hasan finds himself torn between his love for her and the path that has been laid before him, a life of privilege and power that now feels hollow without her by his side. One evening, as they share a stolen moment in the quiet of the gardens, Hasan confesses his frustration to Leyla, revealing the burden of his impending marriage. "Every choice I make feels as though it's for everyone but myself," he whispers, his voice thick with anguish. Leyla, though heartbroken, listens with quiet understanding, knowing that the world of privilege he inhabits comes with chains of its own. Their conversation is interrupted by a sound, a sudden rustle in the bushes. Leyla freezes, her heart pounding in her chest as she looks around, fearing that their secret has finally been exposed. For a tense moment, they wait, but the noise fades, leaving them alone once more. But the close call lingers, a stark reminder of the dangerous game they are playing. The days that follow bring a new sense of dread. Leyla notices servants casting suspicious glances her way, while Hasan is summoned to frequent meetings with his family and the Sultan's advisors, who continue to pressure him to solidify his engagement to Esli. He tries to navigate his duties while concealing his love for Leyla, but the strain begins to take its toll, and his absences weigh heavily on her heart. One day, Leyla is approached by a fellow servant, a woman who warns her in hushed tones to be careful. "People talk," she whispers, her gaze full of pity and fear. "They say you've captured the nobleman's attention. They say he is falling for you." The words strike Leyla like a blow, filling her with a sense of dread that chills her to the bone. She realizes that their love, once a private solace, is now a vulnerability, something that others can use against them, a tool in the dangerous game of palace politics. And as the rumors continue to spread, she begins to fear not just for herself, but for Hasan, knowing that if their relationship is discovered, he too will face consequences that could jeopardize his future. In the secrecy of their next meeting, Leyla shares her concerns with Hasan. The pain in her voice mirrors his own fears, and for the first time, they confront the possibility that their love might bring more harm than happiness. Hasan, overcome with emotion, vows to protect her, promising that he will find a way for them to be together. Yet deep down, both of them know the truth that in the world they inhabit, love may be a luxury neither of them can afford. They part that night with the weight of an impossible choice looming over them. And as the palace walls seem to close in, Hasan is left grappling with the knowledge that soon he will have to choose between the life of power and duty that awaits him and the love that could cost them both everything. As the tension in the palace reaches a fever pitch, Hasan and Leyla's love is tested like never before. The whispered rumors have grown louder, and even the Sultan's advisors have taken note of the nobleman's distracted demeanor. Hasan's engagement to Asli looms over him, now an impending reality that he can no longer ignore. He feels trapped, torn between his duty to his family and the love that has awakened his heart. In a final effort to protect Leyla and keep their relationship hidden, Hasan decides to meet her one last time under the cover of night in the secluded part of the gardens where their love began. The air is thick with the scent of jasmine, and the darkness feels oppressive, yet the sight of her brings a bittersweet comfort to his heart. As they stand in the moonlight, he confesses his fears, telling her of the pressures mounting against him. "They will not stop until they have what they want from me," he murmurs, his voice raw with anguish. Leyla, her heart breaking, knows that he speaks the truth. She realizes that their love, as beautiful as it is, has become a dangerous secret that could ruin them both. Despite the pain it causes, Leyla makes a decision. She tells Hasan that she will leave the palace, disappearing from his life, so that he might find a way to fulfill his duties without endangering them both. "I would rather leave knowing that you are safe," she whispers, tears glistening in her eyes, "than stay and risk losing you forever." Hasan is shattered by her words, unwilling to accept a life without her. He pleads with her to reconsider, his hands holding hers as if he might keep her close through sheer force of will. But Leyla's resolve is unbreakable. She has already made her choice. With a quiet strength that belies her own heartbreak, she steps back, leaving Hasan alone in the garden, their love left unspoken and unfinished. The next day, the palace feels hollow without her presence. Hasan is overcome with a despair he cannot shake, even as he proceeds with the duties laid before him. The engagement ceremony is hastily arranged, the preparations swift and merciless. As he stands beside Asli, the noblewoman he barely knows, his thoughts drift to Leyla, wondering if she is safe, if she has found peace beyond the palace walls. But Leyla has not left the city. She remains watching from afar, unable to truly part with the man who holds her heart. From the shadows, she witnesses the engagement ceremony, her heart breaking with each vow he recites. And though the pain is overwhelming, she knows that this sacrifice was the only way to protect him, to give him the life he deserves, free from the weight of their forbidden love. As time passes, their story becomes a legend within the palace, a tale of a nobleman who loved a servant with a passion that defied the rules of society. Their love, though hidden and fleeting, lives on in whispers and shadows, a testament to the power of a connection that transcended rank and duty. In the years that follow, Hasan finds solace in his memories of Leyla, cherishing the brief time they shared, even as he fulfills his obligations. And Leyla, though forever changed, carries with her the knowledge that she loved, and was loved in return, a love that could never be bound by the walls of a palace or the expectations of a world that would not accept them.